This is our Smart Eco Smart Heater review from AENO. And it's so nice to get an appliance, but all the packaging is in cardboard, and even the plastic that's in here is 100% biodegradable.
So full disclosure, AENO reached out to us and asked us if we would like to review their new smart heater with absolutely no strings attached, and therefore very practical for some people. Also, it's portable because you just plug it in. It's not fan, it's infrared. So it's a really nice kind of heat as well. And it just looks really slick and new and fancy, but it's also very energy efficient.
So we have a heat pump, and that comes with its own story.
Yeah.
But to cut a very long story short, the north end of the house where our TV room doesn't come to temperature. We are going to try and get that sorted out soon. But for the past 2 winters, we've run a little portable fan heater to try and heat that room up when we go and watch TV.
Yeah, the radiators are working, but they're just not getting up to temperature. So you go into the room and you still feel quite chilly. And when you want to go and just have your dinner and watch a movie, you want to be nice and cozy, so there's only so many blankets you can have on yourself.
So the little fan heaters were actually quite effective. They got the job done. But two things. One, they created very dry heat.
Yeah.
And two, they're quite costly to run because they run at about 2 kilowatt hours of electricity.
And they're also quite noisy. You know, that tiny little fan, you know, having that...
Yeah, you've got to crank the TV volume up just to drown out the sound of the actual heater.
Yeah.
So the heater from AENO actually addresses all of those problems that we've just listed. So it's quiet, it's completely silent.
Completely silent.
It's infrared, so the heat is not dry, and it's actually very cost effective to run.
So when it arrived, I think the very first thing that stood out to us when we unpacked it was just how impressed we were by the packaging, which I know sounds a bit crazy, but when we're doing product reviews, one thing that we get really, really irritated about is just the amount of horrible packaging that comes with these kind of products. It's normally tons and tons of styrofoam, plastics, unnecessary amounts of extra stuffing and things like that.
All the cardboard is laminated.
Yeah, it's just horrible. But I have to say, full props to AENO. They are doing such a good job with their packaging. They're so consciously deciding how to package their products. And this smart heater came in cardboard that was completely compostable. It didn't have any additional plastic or stickers all over it. It was easy for us to just take down to the compost heap. Then inside of the box, the actual plastic wrap that it came in was plant-based biodegradable, which is brilliant. So again, compostable, fully biodegradable, and I just wish everybody was doing this kind of packaging.
So when we took it out of the packaging, it felt really sturdy. It feels really good quality.
Yeah.
The assembly took us literally 2 minutes.
The instructions were really great.
Oh, very clear. To be honest, it's not a very complicated installation. So.
No, but it came with everything that you needed.
Yeah.
There weren't screws missing. It had everything. It had the wall mount as well. So you could either choose to have it freestanding on the floor. So you just put the floor mount on and then plug it in, and you can just then move it around the house, which is how we're doing it. Or it does come with a wall mount, so if you wanted to have it in a position permanently, then you could actually just put it onto a wall and plug it in as well, and then it's there all the time.
And clearly it's also been designed for ceiling mounts, because in the app you can actually stipulate whether it's ceiling mounted, which would be quite interesting because it actually does radiate that heat down or across. So if you were in that way inclined where you actually wanted to put on a ceiling, you could probably do that too.
The actual heater itself, to really kind of just explain it as layman and as simply as I can, is literally like a giant piece of tempered glass. It's really thick, smooth glass, and then you just got the metal legs. That's literally it. And then there is a tiny little box on the side, which basically has your push buttons and your temperature controls.
Very simple controls on the side.
Yeah, but that's literally it. So the simplicity of the design is very attractive.
And it just blends into any room. So we actually installed it initially in our living room, and it looked great there. When we moved it to the TV room, it complements the cupboards.
Yeah.
So it really does just integrate into most rooms aesthetically. So this is a smart heater, so it connects to your app. Setting it up was really quick and easy, and once you've got it set up, you use the app to do schedules. You can set the temperatures, There aren't an awful lot of controls, to be honest, but there's enough to actually be able to set the schedule, set the actual temperature to work the way that you actually want it in your home. And being a bit of a numbers geek, it's got a little meter in the app, so it actually tells you how much electricity you're consuming. So we've set up ours on a schedule in our TV room. So basically it comes on at 5 o'clock, it turns off at 8:30 to make sure that by the time we go into the room, it's nice and warm and snug. We experimented with the temperature, so we started off with 60 degrees, which is the minimum. That didn't really have a huge impact on the actual temperature in that room. Our TV room's about 25 square meters, somewhere around there. So we cranked up the heat up to 110 degrees. It goes up to 120 max, and that made a huge difference.
Yeah, I suppose the lower temperatures are really great if you want that low, slow burn. So maybe you've got it on for like most of the day and you just wanted to have it kind of get up to temperature and then just kind of stay ticking over. Then the low temperatures are great for us. We kind of want to get like that spike of heat and then for it to like just stay warm, and then when we leave, it can just drop off really quickly.
And it's quite remarkable now that we're running at 110 degrees. When you walk into the room after about 45 minutes, you can feel that heat radiating. So on the AENO website, it says that it works up to about 1.5 meters. I walk into the room from about 2 or 3 meters away and I can't feel that heat.
Yeah.
So it definitely is getting the job done.
Yeah, it's like a kind of a warm glow on you. It's not like you're, feel like you're being fried or anything.
No.
But you just feel like, ooh, like if you were to walk into a room and feel the radiators are on, it's the same.
The obvious concern about running at 110 or 120 degrees is if you get up to it, it is really, really hot.
Yeah.
So if you've got children,
be careful.
Might not be the best solution in the world. Our cats learned very quickly. They can feel the heat. They have never actually walked up to it or touched it.
Yeah.
They get close-ish to it.
Yeah.
But they are smart enough not to actually, want to touch it because they can feel that heat.
And they are fur coated.
They are fur coated. But there's been no singeing hair.
No singeing of whiskers yet. Just be very careful with toddlers and children with this particular unit because it will get very, very hot. If you've got it on a 60, then I suppose that's going to be a bit hot.
Still pretty warm, yeah.
That's still hot. And 110, 120, that is you don't want to be touching that. You want to have it in a safe space where nobody's going to brush up against it with their legs or touch it with their hands. So just be very, very cautious with regards to toddlers and children.
And the best bit for me is the running costs. So the little blower fan that we talked about, that runs at about 2.1 kilowatt hours. The AENO runs at a maximum of 700 watts per hour.
Wow.
Which means that you're getting 2.1 over 3 hours, which means that we're heating that room for 3 hours versus 1 hour on the little blower fan. So for me, it's really a great solution. If you've got a room that's not coming to temperature and you just want to either spike it or just let it tick over constantly, this is a really good solution purely because of the running costs and the flexibility.
I think it's also a really good solution for situations where it's very difficult to heat. So for example, if you're in like a grade listed building where you're really restricted and you've got a certain room or an area, maybe like a basement converted, something like that, where you're not allowed to put central heating and you're not allowed to put in your radiators and things, then you're only allowed to plug something in, then this kind of solution is very, very clever. Or for example, if you're looking at something like your garden studios, you can't be running central heating down there, so you just need something you plug in. This is actually very, very good, very energy efficient, very nice to run, silent, clean, aesthetically pleasing, ticks a lot of boxes.
So all in all, I was really pleasantly surprised with the actual heater.
Definitely. I have to say, I've never heard of AENO. I've never seen the logo. I've never experienced the brand before.
They're Polish, aren't they?
Well, I think they are. It says made in Poland.
Yeah.
So, good old Polska. We've been using it now for about 6 weeks and it's been very consistent. Absolutely no issues with it whatsoever, working beautifully. So overall, I'm very impressed. And it's keeping Leopold nice and warm and cozy in the evenings when we want to watch our TV time. And I have to say, he's actually liking the heat.
Yeah.
So with the fan and stuff, he actually won't go near it because the cats, they don't like that kind of wind or that, air blowing on them. But a couple of times we've walked into the TV room and we found him and he's sitting about, I would say, 1/2 meter away from it. But he's sitting there very deliberately, almost kind of like sun worshipping the heater. He's like really enjoying it. And I think the infrared heat is a very nice heat.
That's a gentle heat.
It's a very gentle heat. And I think if you've got something like arthritis or you're feeling a bit creaky or, you've got the flu, anything like that, the infrared heat, it's a very kind of warming heat. So it really kind of warms all the way through you. It doesn't it's not like a sweaty heat.
No.
It doesn't kind of hit you like a hot fan and make you feel like, oh my gosh, you know, I need some air, this is too much.
Yeah.
It's a very, very nice radiating heat.
So for me, it's ticked just about every single box. It looks good.
Yeah.
It gets the job done.
Yeah.
It's energy efficient. You know, it's got the app, it's got the monitoring, it's got the metering. It's just highly recommended as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely be very, very happy to recommend it to friends and family, and certainly purchase one for a friend or a family member. I think that it's a very, very nice piece of kit.
So I hope that you have found this video useful and interesting. If you did, as always, please give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button below, and we'll see you on our next video. Thanks for watching.